Yo, what is going on? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Henriksen. If you're brand new to the show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence knowing that you are moving one step closer to who you'd like to be in the future, the person you'd like to be, the life you'd like to lead, and what you want to be doing. And so I hope that you guys are doing well. A while back, I did a couple episodes actually talking about the MAID program here in Canada, and I wanted to share a couple of different things today about it because, you know, it is something that kind of gets swept under the rug, and then I kind of feel like as well. It's something, again, it's kind of been normalized in the last little bit. It's something that has a little bit been controversial, but I just wanted to share some of the things that I've learned recently about the MAID program here in Canada, and then you guys can let me know what you guys think about that, because some of these facts I found a little bit interesting, and so some of these also could be wrong. They were I used a little bit of AI to help me with my research here, but so the first thing I thought that was interesting was literally over 5% of the total deaths in Canada now are due to medical assistance in dying. And so that's basically the government funded ending of one's self is 5% of the total deaths in Canada, which seems a little bit egregious to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's when you combine it with sides, which I feel like is almost like an appropriate thing to do because it is basically a form of that, and maybe I'll have to censor that word. That might be a word I might have to censor on YouTube. But when you pair it with that, you know, the MAID program, as well as that, I don't know what word you're supposed to use for that, but one's own decision to end their own journey in this world. When you combine those two things together, it's over 6%. And so that's it's an interesting thing to think about. The fact that literally 5% of the total deaths in our country are brought to you by our doctors, our government, you know, and that's just like the upfront. That's just the ones that, you know, there's obviously many other people that are, you know, poisoned or killed by negligence or whatever it is. It's just an interesting thing to think about. The other thing I was thinking about, the other thing that I found out recently, and this is something that, you know, the statistics, you kind of have to pull a lot of these things from a couple years back because obviously it's 2026 right now, so we're not going to have this year's full data. And then obviously, like, sometimes I feel like 2025, the data is still unclear. We're still kind of unpacking it all. But one of the things that I found interesting was I believe in 2023, there was 219 deaths from the MAID program that happened either on the same day or the next day as someone applies for this program. And that just completely struck me as like, what the hell? Because anybody that struggled with their mental health, with addiction, with anything like that, you know, these types of dark thoughts, these types of struggles in life, you know, it's like, if you've gone through that, if you know that kind of world, if you know that kind of way of life or whatever it is, then you know that those types of feelings, those types of things, they kind of come in waves. They kind of come and what I mean by that is they are temporary. You know, all of us have that have been through that. We know somebody that's been through that. We know that there is a time where that kind of question comes into your mind. And if instantly, the same day or next day, you go into a doctor and you say these things and you say, hey, I feel this way, and they're instantly there affirming exactly, you know, oh yeah, this is exactly, you know, a normal thing. We can just like kind of, you know, back you up and we can take care of it for you. We can actually just take care of it for you. It can get better. We can take care of it for you. It'll be quick, it'll be painless, whatever they say. I don't know if that's actually true. But dude, like 219 people just like gone same day or next day. And you know, it is something where it's just like, that got me thinking, what is the average time span of when somebody applies for it and then when their final day is? And it basically, it's kind of, again, it's kind of difficult to kind of parse through. But it seemed to me it was around 90 days, 100 days, which is literally 3 months. And again, anybody that's made, huge drastic changes in their lives, known somebody that's gone through something like this, depression, anxiety, addiction, either they've been through it themselves, they know someone that's been through it, 90, 100 days, that's 3 months. That's like best case scenario. If all the stars align in a perfect world and you make no mistakes, that's like how long it would take, I feel like, to just feel like you're starting to improve in your life or start to change the way you feel. You know what I mean? And it's like, we're not even giving these people a fair shot. We're not even, it's not like the first 90 days of doing anything. If literally, if you look at it in any aspect of life, and not to completely change the subject or go on a random tangent, but when you look at a construction site, when you look at a renovation, demo day, like the very beginning part of the project, it's exciting. You see all this stuff happening. You see all these things start to move. You see all this, things are being ripped out of the walls. The trailers are getting filled up with garbage. It's it's like exciting, it's romantic, it's like everything changes so fast, the walls come down, everything looks so different right away. And then all of these little things start to happen afterwards, straightening up the framing. All the plumbing is being laid. We're making sure that there's backing in these walls. They're fixing any mistakes that were made in the past. We're prepping surfaces. We're measuring for things. We're doing all this like kind of checking and rechecking. And, that part isn't as sexy. It's not as fun to look at. It's not enjoyable. It's the middle part, the main part of the sandwich, We always think that the meat is the best part of the sandwich, but sometimes the middle part of the sandwich is the part that, it doesn't feel like progress is being made. You look at it and maybe it just barely looks different every single day, right? But if you skip that step of the process, if you skip that portion, then the end product, no matter how good your finishing skills are, it just is going to look like garbage. And the reason I bring that up is because, in life, when you're trying to make your life better, if you want to improve your life, we get the very beginning. It's very fun. We get excited. We go and see, a professional. We go and do this thing. We go and make all, and then it's exciting. We start a new thing. We're turning over a new leaf. But then you have this like few month period where you're continuously, if it's fitness, you're going to the gym, even though you don't look any different. You look in the mirror every single day and you don't look any different. You're not getting stronger, and cardio still is difficult, and you're not getting more flexible, and you're seeing all these people that look better than you. And it's that middle part that sucks so much that, it's boring. And it doesn't feel good. The motivation's gone. And then that's when most people quit. That is when faith is broken. That is when people feel like they hit a wall. And instantly we're like trying to look for quick fixes. Like I've been there too as well, where again, you're asking like AI programs, like, how can I do this better? How can I improve this? How can I, and we're always looking for the quick fix. We're always looking for like, I mean, when I was younger, I remember being like in my early 20s and being in sales and hearing people say, It's all about being at the right place at the right time with the right people. You meet the right guy with the right connection. You shake hands with the right people. Get in the room with the right people. It was all about that. And I just thought that, if I just showed up every single day with the right attitude, with the good, one day I'd shake hands with the guy that was just gonna like completely change my life. Like, and it was just like that was what was gonna click. And in business, we feel that as well. Like, maybe I'll make the right ad. I'll hire the right marketing manager. I'll hire the best person for this or whatever it is. This is really going to step my game up if I have that thing. When realistically, a lot of the time, the solid progress is made by the boring work, the stuff that's in the middle, the things that we're trying to avoid. And a lot of the times, what we're thinking is going to push us to the next step is really just a distraction. It's just there to drive our focus away from what actually matters. And it's the exact same thing in any aspect of life. When you're paying off debt, you're sitting there, you're making all this money, maybe you take some overtime, you do all this stuff, and then you pay off your debt. You don't even have the money anymore. And it feels like you're working harder, but you're still broke. You're still not doing this. But in the background, if you can just keep doing those things, it's not about making these massive shifts. Oh, I need to bet it all on red. Oh, maybe I need to get into crypto. Maybe I need to get into this. Maybe I need to get into that. It's like, no, you know what you need to do, man. And it's boring as hell. And it's not going to sound fun. And it's usually not what you want to hear. And a lot of the time, it's usually continue doing exactly what you're doing. Maybe do more of what you're doing, right? And then perhaps there's like a little bit of like a 5% add-on thing you can do here and there. But a lot of the time, it's really just, if you want to be, successful in anything, you got to just do that thing. There is no real like way to just take skip a step. And anybody that you see in life that does get to do that, because actually now that I think about it, there is ways to skip steps. Those people pay for it, whether you think it's literally, or it's, maybe a spiritual thing. Like, again, I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, so that is truly what I believe. You see these types of people that get to skip lines in life, or so it seems, and again, they end up usually paying for it. Like, there's all these types of people that, anybody's seen them, these people that are on the internet, and it's not like I can really say that much, because who am I to say, like, who gives a shit? But like, remember that chick, what was her name? No, you know what it was? I'm trying to think, who was it? The Hawk Tuah girl, dude. Like, she just got like so famous so fast, and now what do you think? What do you know? Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody would have her. If anything, like, anytime you see anything about her now, it's just making fun of her. Like, you kind of pay for that kind of quick when you get to skip the line. If you look at it in society, if you look at anywhere, you go to Costco. You see someone skip a line, see what happens, dude. It's not going to work out well. That's the way that the world works. Everybody just kind of has to do the boring part, that middle part, that, again, you plant seeds. It's so tempting. I'm the type of person that, and again, this is what makes me the most impatient, the worst gardener ever. I'm the type of person to plant seeds and then want to kind of like peel the soil back and look at the growth. I want to see the growth. I want to just be like I want to see the process. I want to see everything happening. And the hardest thing for me to do is just kind of like, okay, I've done my part. Now I just have to have faith. I just have to continue to do, I have to water, maybe fertilize, maybe check the soil, maybe pull these weeds, maybe do this, maybe do that. Make sure it's getting the right amount of sun. I can control all the things that I can control and continuously do the boring work, the things like watering, the things like weeding, and all you can do is really just have faith that that work will provide the fruits of your labor. Sometimes literally, sometimes metaphorically, and sometimes anasphysiologically or whatever. And so, on that note, if you enjoyed this episode, please do share with a friend, share with somebody that you feel like needs to know this message, or hear me make up words like whatever I just said earlier. And so that is all I got for today. A little bit jumbled, a little bit scrambled, a little bit of some weird facts in the very beginning that I found recently, and then a little bit of a way to wrap it up as well. And just to kind of reiterate exactly what that kind of whole thing really means is, we shouldn't take our feelings of today and assume that it's always going to be the exact same. We should understand that if we feel a strong negative emotion, and again, I'm not trying to simplify or downplay whatever anyone's going through, but honestly, if you have these like strong negative emotions, please try and put it into the frame of mind where you can understand that these things, if you're feeling that bad, if you're feeling like, it didn't happen like that overnight. And improving your life is going to be the exact same. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a long process of that 1% every single day, of improving a little bit continuously. Again, if you have to imagine it as like a 700-pound person having to go to the gym and work out and train for months and months and months just to be 600 pounds, just to be 500 pounds, just to be 400 pounds, like that is going to take a lot longer than 90 days to completely change your life if you feel like your life has gotten that bad. And so I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. Happy Monday. Understand the process is going to take a lot longer than you fucking wanted to, but you can get to wherever you need to get to. And that's a message for me as much as it's a message for you as well. I will check in with you guys next Monday. If you enjoy this episode, if you enjoy this show, share with a friend, share with somebody that you feel like needs to hear this message, or anyone you like or someone that you love. And so if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, engage with the show as much as you can. It improves my situation, my life, my YouTube channel. If you're listening to this on podcast version, rate it 5 stars, leave a little review, comment on whatever it is, and maybe we'll do like a best comment of whatever it is. And so on that note, I will check in with you guys next Monday. Much love. Peace out. Love you all. Bye.